It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network, bringing you all the insides and outsides of the world of HBCU sports. And today would be no exception to the rule. As you know, we always talk baseball around here. Today is not going to be an exception to the rule. We are happy to have on for the very first time here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network the head man in charge for the Jackson State Tigers on the diamond side of things. And that's none other than Coach Omar Johnson. Coach, how you doing? And welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, look, we're excited. Baseball season is right around the corner. It's fall ball right now. So if you don't mind, if you'd introduce yourself to our listening audience so they can get a little better insight on Coach Omar Johnson, how long you've been in charge, and a little background of your coaching career.
I've been here at Jackson State as a head coach. I think it's been 14 seasons.
Yeah, it's been pretty long. You and Coach Mike Robertson are the two senior statesmen in this division right now, man.
Yes, Mike. I think Mike was a year or two ahead of me. He was at Prairie View for those 2 years before I had an opportunity.
Yes, sir.
But I'm from Miami, Florida. I played baseball at University of North Alabama, and I started coaching over there. And after coaching over there, that's when I came over to Jackson State. I've been here ever since.
Okay, and you've been rather modest right now, Coach, but you've also had some pretty steady success over at Jackson State on the eastern side of things. And when you look at the makeup, one thing that goes without saying, all your teams have come packing their lumber, ready to hit any pitcher at any time.
Well, we've been very fortunate to have a lot of good players, and I've had a lot of good assistant coaches. We've done a good job of recruiting, and we have really done some remarkable things offensively. Stolen bases, we've always been in the top 10 since I've been around. Runs scored, always been in the top 10. So we're finding a way to score runs, and that's the real secret to winning baseball games.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, it's no secret that, pitching is always going to be a neutralizer no matter how great the bats are. And I guess that's always the needle in the haystack, especially when we're looking at our FCS programs, not in particular just HBCU, but FCS across the board. What are some of the challenges to acquire that quality of depth pitching on the FCS ranking?
Man, it's so difficult. It's so difficult because everyone find a number one type guy, but it's getting some guys coming out of the bullpen that's quality, or getting a guy at the end of the game that's quality. And you end up getting a bunch of guys that are average when the Power 5 schools are getting basically the number one coming out of the bullpen, 2 and 3 deep. We played Mississippi State last year and bringing a guy to pen throwing 98, and that was virtually unheard of in college. So, and then 95, then 93. So it's the biggest neutralizer. That's the biggest difference between the Power 5s and everybody else.
Okay, now I know we have 35-man rosters on our program. Do you have in your mindset a certain amount of those that you want or need to be pitchers on a 35-man roster?
We try to get 18, 20 sometimes. That's kind of the number, but realistically, you're going to need about 6 guys to start, and then a couple of relievers, and then one guy at the end of the game. So you'll need at least 14 of those guys. Okay.
Now, Coach, I have an old philosophy, and I try to bounce this off of all the coaches I get a chance to interview. I'm an old catcher, and to me, it's become a lost art for catchers to call their games. And before I ask what I was going to originally ask, let me ask this question. Are you one of those skippers that call pitch?
I've been allowing our catchers to call the game, as long as I've been the head coach. We work hard at it. We talk about it a lot during the fall. Mm-hmm. We go over different scenarios. We go over what to identify with the batters, bat speed, stance in the box, just different things, tipping, things with counts. So it's a little harder than me just calling the pitches, just to get him to identify what's going on in the game and make a game time decision at a decent pace.
Okay.
So we always took pride in our catchers, and that's why we've had so much success with our catchers. Stefan Vidal, Carlos Diaz, Giovanni Felipe, all those guys, signed professional contracts after catching here.
Right. We're speaking right now with Coach Omar Johnson of the Jackson State Tigers. We're getting another fall SWAC baseball preview. Now, back to my original question that I was going to have with you, Coach. My little philosophy is simply this. We know that the depth of pitching is a challenge on the FCS level. Do you believe in the pitching by committee? And when I say that, the philosophy of maybe putting together a combination of 2 to 3 pitchers to get one game out, or do you just kind of let your guy go and then you have your traditional middle reliever and closer rotation?
No, we it depends on what we see in the scout report. It depends on what's going on in the game. And, they're young people, so, they don't have their best outings all the time. So you have to be prepared for that. So it's a combination of things, but we'll let a guy go if he has good enough stuff to go through the lineup, multiple times. But, it depends on that day, and it depends on what we see while we're playing the game.
Okay, and the reason I say that, if I got a guy who we'll just label as suspect for right now, and he might be tipping with an 84-mile-an-hour fastball, and we know that's not burning up the radar, but if a guy knows how to pitch and can add an effective changeup with that, that makes that fastball looks that much faster.
Exactly.
So if you got a guy and say, okay, look, I just need you to get through the rotation one time. And once you get through the rotation, I got pitcher number 2. I need you to get through the rotation one time or have a set pitch count, or you're a big component on pitch counts and regulating how much your guys throw throughout the course of a game.
Yeah, if you watch us play last year, we had Mario Lopez, which was an unbelievable reliever for us. And he was a guy that would come in and get us out of jams or one time through the lineup, and then we moved on to the next guy. So, yeah, we do put it together like that. You come off a long weekend, and then you're on a Tuesday night playing, and you used all your pitching up on the weekend trying to get through. That's a lot of the times what you try to do on a Tuesday night game or Wednesday night game. Just get some guys to get you through a lineup one time, maybe a couple of innings, and then move on to the next guy. Absolutely.
Now, Coach, you brought up the Tuesday nights, and usually those are the non-conference nights. Are you at liberty right now to kind of share what your non-conference schedule is looking like so far?
Well, we have it. I think they just about have it posted, but I don't have it right in front of me. But our usual. We're so fortunate to be right in the middle of everything. So we're 2.5 hours from New Orleans. We'll play them in a midweek series. We're an hour and a half from Monroe. We'll play them. So we have a lot of schools, a lot of Division I schools, a lot of good programs around us that we get a chance to play some midweek games with.
Okay. Now, speaking with the committee chair, Carlos James, there's a lot on the table that could change SWAC baseball as we know it. Are you excited about some of the changes that are on the table?
Well, I've always been for playing every school in the conference instead of having East and the West, just one championship during the regular season. I've always been for that.
Okay. Now, I'm hearing you correctly. You would rather just let it be melted into one conference versus the East versus the West in divisional play.
Right. We'll eliminate the divisional play altogether. Just one. Everybody plays. Everybody in it counts.
Okay. And what about the possibility of shaving it down to who comes to the tournament? Or are you for all schools to be invited to the tournament?
No, I'm still for the 8. All 10 schools. That's a bit much, but I'm still for the 8.
Okay.
And we got to give everybody an opportunity. That sometimes that's the only reward some of the kids have.
Right.
Is to come to the tournament.
Right.
So, and then we're only one team is going to go to the NCAA tournament anyway, and that's the winner of that tournament. That's a strange thing about how baseball works. Because you can have an outstanding year, and still, if you don't win a tournament, your year really is all for naught.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because what I have been seeing in the past few years is that it's not a true double elimination tournament. If you got a guy who's coming through the loser's bracket, versus playing the team who came through the winner's bracket with no defeat, and it's a winner-take-all, one game. I thought that it would be best if you had a almost like a 2 out of 3 series, more or less, for that team, or you have to beat the guy who's undefeated twice. Is there any possible change in that coming down the line?
I would hope not, because that's one of the few times we control the narrative of our game. We very seldom have TV games, and when we have that winner-take-all, which most conferences in the country have a winner-take-all championship, it gets aired on ESPN. So eliminating that may eliminate some of our exposure. But most conferences, if you look around the country, most conferences have winner-take-all championship.
No,
the double elimination tournament, the double elimination championship is virtually extinct.
Right, but I know too that most conferences, everybody play each other too, and we're starting. It seems like we're starting premature compared to other conferences, which could then have you laying stagnant for 2 weeks leading to the regional play. So is that some possible change in that coming too?
Well, they propose a couple things, but most conferences still play division. If you check, it's not, most conferences don't play everybody. Most teams are broke up into divisions like we are. So, and then a lot of conferences don't play tournaments. Now you think about it, the West Coast Conference, they play best 2 out of 3. The Pac-12, they don't even have a tournament.
Right.
So
right.
It varies. The ACC, they play pool play. So it's a lot of different ways to go about it. But to get our conference the most exposure, we're just specifically talking about the championship game right now. We need that coverage. Got you.
We're speaking right now with Coach Omar Johnson of the Jackson State Tigers. Coach, if you can, man, let's talk about your roster and how things are looking in the fall, and what have you added and replaced to get you guys ready for this 2020 season.
Well, we've added a lot of players. We lost a lot of guys from last year. It's a whole list. We're still in the middle round. Well, we're coming towards the end of our fall right now. So we've seen some things that we needed to see. We returned, Nick Gladys. He pitched on the weekends for us last year. We had a couple of injuries that we might get some guys back from last year also. So we're excited, but we still have a long way to go.
What was your impression of this past World Series, man? How crazy was that? Not one home team winning a game. I never, as a matter of fact, that was the first time ever in history that happened. Did you get a chance to check that out?
Yeah, I seen most of it. Well, pretty much all of it. No, it was exciting. I'm a fan. So, when guys come up and the games are close and guys are making, they're getting hits like that, the 2-run shot at the end by Kendrick right there, that's amazing. So
yes, sir.
No,
yes, sir.
It's exciting, but I don't remember the last time I seen the home team win all the road team win all the games. I hadn't seen that. So.
No, it had never happened, Coach. It was the first time it happened in history. And I was telling my youngest son, I said, I don't think we'll ever see that again, not at least in my lifetime. But that was just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was exciting, though. It was really exciting.
Yes, sir. Now, one more question before we have to shut this segment down, Coach. The 20-second clock, can you explain when that's supposed to actually take effect, and where would it be proposed to be placed on the field as far as your home stadium is concerned?
Well, it's 2 options. I think they want it in, I think, left center field or right center field, close to the scoreboard. But I think right now the third base umpire is going to be in control of that. So he'll have a stopwatch over there keeping it.
Okay.
I've been for it the whole time. I remember when I was a player and when I first started coaching, we used to go to Wichita in the NBC World Series and play during the summers if you won your league or the summer league you were playing in. And we would go and play there, and everything was always timed. So this is nothing new in baseball. I'm sure they were doing it in Wichita many years before and that was the early 90s, mid-early 90s. So it's nothing new, but I've always liked it. If you watch us play, we try to push the pace of the game pretty fast.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, you're a fast-paced guy. I guess they take their high energy from their skipper, huh?
That's just one of our philosophies.
Hey, look, Coach, I've seen you get animated, man, especially if you thought your guys didn't get the proper call. I've seen you work and bring that fire and passion. I like to see that, though, because it sparks your guys up. So you're a little fireball now. You sounding, let's say, humble and meek right now, but you can be a fireball.
Yeah. We're really passionate about it around here. We like to win.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, I want to give you an opportunity to have some final thoughts and comments. We do appreciate you making yourself available, and the floor is now yours, sir.
Oh, no, I appreciate you guys having me, and anything to promote baseball in our conference, which our baseball in our conference is very competitive. If you look at the midweek wins we have in our league, you'll really appreciate it. I think it's a little underrated, but we're really proud of what we do and how we go about our business here at Jackson State.
Okay, well, Coach, we appreciate you, man. Good luck, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat throughout the baseball season.
All right, thanks.
All right, Coach Omar Johnson of the Jackson State Tigers giving us a little insight on the Jackson Tiger baseball program. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, reminding you that you can follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. And, of course, our dial-in message line is 713-570-6736. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.